Here we go, and we hope for entertainment between Nigeria and Ghana on the same level as last night's opening Unity Cup match. Jamaica 2 goals up against Trinidad and Tobago, pegged back to 2-2, and then victorious by a late penalty, 4 minutes into stoppage time. Usually, you'd think that might be a pretty tough act to follow, but let's see, these two are pretty fierce rivals. Might not be all that much unity on there tonight. 90 minutes stoppage time and a penalty shootout if required. They're immediately looking at the run in behind, the big Nigerian number 9 in for a rare start tonight. They're missing a couple of forward options, so he's got a chance to add to his international goal tally. Forward into a Poku, the attempted layoff didn't quite work for Bonsu, the new debutant, and suddenly there is room here. Advantage played by referee Stuart Atwell. Desser in the middle was the target, but it is cut out by the 19-year-old debutant Aaron Essel. Alimi released down the left. And even with his keeper diving at his feet, Essel couldn't be certain. Good decision from the teenage debutant. Taking it quickly for Nigeria. Just in the nick of time, comes back here to Sadiq Ismaila. And Nwabali, the Nigerian goal here. Stanley Nwabali plays in South Africa, 20th cap for him tonight. Semi Ajayi back in the fold. Most experienced of their defenders in this lineup, Semi Ajayi for sure. Good job he's back in the fold, given the inexperience of those around him. Here's Wilfred Ndidi. 63rd cap for Super Eagles skipper tonight. Gideon Mensah playing it cool. Senior man at the back, Semi Ajayi there. Gideon Mensah there, yo-yoing with Auxerre in the top couple of divisions of French football for a while now. Respectable mid-table this season. Stayed up. He'll have his coach right in his ear throughout this first half. He'll probably be looking forward to the second. Captain Ayew to take the Ghana free kick, looking at the far side, and now here is Bonsu. Bonsu looking for a free kick. He's got up again. He's got the ball at his feet in towards Ayew. It's an important intervention from Ajayi. They want an offside flag. It hasn't come, and anywhere will do as it's thumped clear. Ball mistake at the back from Simpson. Desser, was he fouled? Well, apparently not. The Nigerian fans behind that goal thought so. Real scare for young Razak Simpson. Desser is asking the question. Simpson's mistake originally here, and then after he slipped. Well, yes, it was an accident, the slip, but it's still upended Cyril Desser. Meanwhile, at the other end, bit of a scramble in the Nigerian box. What a lively first 5 minutes. Feels like last night all over again. Looks like Stuart Atwell is going to have to go some to keep up with the pace of play here. Essel No mucking about from him. Possession gifted away again, though. And again. With a quick tempo, seeing a lot of possession turned over here. Looks like Salis Abdul Samid has got a problem here. Injured for plenty of the season just gone. Was promoted with Sunderland to the Premier League on loan from Lens. He seems okay, no treatment required, and back we go. Jai into Ndidi. Bali under some pressure. Sadiq Ismaila still playing at right back. One of the Remo Stars players, just a second cap for him. Strong from Simpson, and he's earned the free kick too. More composed. Mensah away from Onyeka. Mahmoudou coming forward from right back, and he's continuing his run too. Not used by it. Ghanaian fans wanted a shot. It's 3 players who've lost their footing already here on a warm evening. Ambrosius back to Benjamin Asare, who took a little bit of a chance there with Chukwueze breathing down his neck. Very confidently done. Brave boy to do that in front of the Nigeria fans. And another Ghanaian free kick. They're getting on with it, but I think the ball was still moving. Here's Papa Daniel of the Niger Tornadoes. Scored 4 times in the season just gone, including in the win against the champions, the Remo Stars, who are well represented out there. Just won their first Nigerian Premier League title, the Remo Stars. Ayew curling it in behind there for a Poku, and that was the intention anyway. Here's Sonia Maichi. A lot of quick turnovers, a lot of niggly fouls. Almost too high pace for its own good, this one. But a lively watch already. SL to Ambrosius, and now Mahmoudou looking long. That's a great take from Chukwueze, releasing Cyril Dessert. That had to be well timed, and wasn't it just? Aaron Essel, superb. What a busy start to his international career he's had. A real standout player in the under-20 group. The under-20 AFCON in Egypt. The 19-year-old has had plenty to do in the opening 9 minutes here. It looks like he's going to have his work cut out. Here's the man who picked him. Otto Addo, the first Ghanaian to play for and coach Ghana at a World Cup. Left after that, but back again as of last year. Bali under no pressure, looking long again. He's got the height of Dessert to aim at Nalimi. He's on the physical side too, but his foul again there, just a bit too eager. Sidikou Alimi, another one of the Remo Stars brigade. on debut here. And Abdul Samid caught again. Is that on the same ankle he was holding earlier? No, he's smiling. Can't be too bad. So eager to get the tackles in at the moment here. That we're seeing a fair few little fouls like that. Mensah was already on his bike then, looking for an early delivery. Nessel back to Asare. Now, Poku couldn't go for that, but Bar Bonsu could. Until Samid. Ambrosius and Stuart Atwell. Just having a word with Jordan Ayew there. That whistle's been busy 11 minutes in. Shot on the foot of Onyeka. Meanwhile, Mensah now defending again, and that's a foul on him by Dessert. Everyone mistiming their challenges so far here tonight. Cyril Dessert implying a dive and says every time to Stuart Atwell, but it looked like he caught him just there. Nothing divey about that, to be honest. Cyril Dessert getting a rare opportunity. Got better as the season went on for sure, following a bit of criticism earlier on in it, losing his place at times. Eric Schell just been telling Chukwueze and Onyemaichi what he wanted out of this free kick, and that might be it. Oh, the flag's gone up. That wouldn't have counted even if it had gone in. Two or three of them, Dessert included. Indeed. I'll be back into the debutant Igo Ugbu. Nice for him to have Semi Ajayi playing next to him. Both trying to get it forward pretty quickly, hence the high turnover, that and the high energy. Absolutely rattling at it here, and Ismaila has won it really well. Awkward cross here, Dessert! Nigeria lead! Cyril Dessert in front of the Super Eagles fans. And into the Super Eagles fans. Didn't he take it well? And a huge pat on the back for Sadiq Ismaila. Brilliant from the right back to make it happen. Nigeria 1, Ghana 0. Early hurly-burly at the G-Tech, and we've got a goal already. His team are behind. Dessert, the Nigerian hero. Just look at Sadiq Ismaila here, coming in to win it. One thought in his mind, get down there, get a yard of space. The slip from Razak Simpson is costly, and Dessert took advantage. Great work from Ismaila. And a very composed finish. Cyril Dessert, who scored against Ghana last year for his second Nigerian goal, has done it again here for his third. Don't think you'd say either goalkeeper's had any notable involvement yet. But Benjamin Asari's had to fish the ball out of his net. And here they come again. 3 on 3. Chukwueze trying to release the goal scorer. Dessert nearly poked it through. Here is Ismaila again. The Nigerian Danny Alves, I saw somebody call him. Well, that was a bombing run in a similar fashion. Eric Shell played international football for Mali. Has coached them before this. Only appointed in January. Slight upturn in World Cup qualification hopes, but they are in trouble in that. 6 nations in their group. They're 4th, Nigeria, and only top is guaranteed through, and the 4 best runners-up have a shot at it. Well, they're 4th, and with 4 games to go, 2 of them are against the top 2. So it is odds against that Nigeria will be at the big show. On the other side of the Atlantic next summer, odds on that Ghana will be their top of their group with a view to play. That all gets going again for both in September of this year. Here's Chukwueze. Mamoudou did well, important toe in. And that is absolutely brilliant there from Ashimeru. And he's still going. Was the ball won? Yes, it was. Stuart Atwell had a great view of it. It's a super run from Ashimeru. Nigeria just managing to close ranks as much by luck as judgment. I think they're throwing in the challenges. They've all been super committed in the tackle so far here tonight. Hugo Ogbu, Slavia Prague, regular for them. Played in European competition this term. Were very unlucky, actually, not to play in the Champions League. They lost a playoff and should have won it against Lille, who went on to do so well. That's a blatant foul. Chukwueze upended Gideon Mensah with a pretty cynical challenge. Slightly surprised, given the volume of fouls, that Stuart Atwell hasn't got his card out for that one, just to try and maybe calm things down. Past Essel, that is pretty late. This is the one they wanted the free kick for. That is some challenge coming in there. Ball and man taken, but it was an impressive run from Majid Ashimeru of Anderlecht. What a busy night for Stuart Atwell. This one a far easier call to make. Nigerian free kick. Chukwueze delivers. And he delivers well. Glancing head on in! It's crept all the way in! It's 2-0! Semi Ajayi with the killer touch. And once again, a brilliant ball in from the right. The Nigerian fans in dreamland here, not even 20 minutes played in this Unity Cup semi-final as the inquest begin for Ghana. Their inexperienced side has been undone twice here. Ghana need to sort themselves out quickly here. Otto Addo is almost on the pitch trying to get word across, but this is a super ball in from Chukwueze. There's the header from Semi Ajayi from a good 11 yards out, and it's only a glancing blow, but there's enough on it right at the corner. I think it took a touch of a Ghanaian defender. It might have been Simpson. It was Razak Simpson, who has had a tough start to his 6th cap. Ajayi's header may well have been going on target, to be honest, at the other corner. Whether it goes down as Ajayi's goal or an own goal, what's beyond dispute is that Nigeria have had a cracking start here. And here we go. I did suggest pre-kickoff that there wouldn't be much unity involved in this game. These two countries are proper rivals at the top end of African football, and young Essel is down here. And Otto Addo needs to sort out his team quickly. That foul from Gideon Mensah, a costly one. I'm thinking Stuart Atwell might have been hoping for something a little more friendly tonight. It certainly hasn't gone that way for him. Onyeka and Mensah both getting a talking to here. Trying to pinch it in through the middle, and Mensah with a little kick out there. If anything, he's the more guilty party with the retribution. And he has done very well, Gideon Mensah, to not be cautioned yet. He's done a couple of things that could easily have brought a yellow card. Dessert, good pass that from Alimi. Ambrosia standing firm, but Dessert's still there. Tail up. Clever little reverse ball too, but Mensah's there to tidy up. Well, they've won it back. They could be in again here. Close enough to Benjamin Asari to try and just calm things down at the back here, as might potential injury stoppage here. All smiles for Nigeria, that's for sure. Super start for the Super Eagles. Let's see if young Nessel is okay. Doesn't look it, does he? Madarini Mamudu, another one of the 4 call-ups of home-based players in Ghanaian domestic football, plays for Medeyama. Looks like that caution went to him, but speaking of youngsters, Aaron Estelle, who's had a very busy debut here, will be worried that it might be curtailed by injury midway through the first half of it. Problems for Otto Addo. Appointed assistant coach 4 years ago, Otto Addo, first time around. Might have been a dissenting voice that has got Mamudu in trouble here. Otto Addo took the interim job to a World Cup playoff against Nigeria, which he won. A 15-year club career spent entirely in Germany. The young defender to whom he's given an international bow tonight is coming off, but in a way that suggests he may well come back on again. Tough start for an inexperienced back line. Nigeria winners of the inaugural Unity Cup. That was back in 2002, just down the road from here. Loftus Road, to be precise, home of Queen's Park Rangers. Captained by the great JJ Okocha. 23 years on, wearing the armband, it's Wilfred and Ndidi. Samid has also talked himself into the book, although Ghana have the free kick here. What a busy start this has been. Ayo delivers. Samid. Ambrosius, the centre back, out there on the right wing. Fish out of water. They were asking for cards, and that in itself is a bookable offence. Salis Abdul Samid calling foul of that as Wabali gathers. Don't take your eyes off this one. Onyeka striding forward and riding the challenges. The Brentford player back home in a certain sense. Chukwueze of Milan. Well, we've got their inexperienced midfielder Abdul Samid booked. Mahmoudou booked. Essel may be injured, and Gideon Mensah, the most experienced player on the ball here in their back line, treading a very thin line, could have been cautioned already. Danger of really losing their discipline here. Ghana, that's nicely done by Essel, who seems to be okay. Well, they've sent them out there in energetic fashion. There's another loose pass given away cheaply. I thought the lob was on for a minute, and then Daniel went for it, by which time Asari had backtracked just in time. This is chaotic. And I'm not sure if Essel is going to be able to continue here. What was that from Asari? And Abdul Samid, having been booked, couldn't really go in for that challenge. And Papa Daniel going for it. Essel clearly struggling after a bit of treatment a while ago. And I don't think he's going to be able to continue here. Otto Addo, who is not looking best pleased, is going to be forced into an early change here. It's been a very short-lived debut. Otto Addo with plenty to say to the fourth official as well. For confirmation of that change then. The stricken Aaron Essel will never forget his debut. But he happened in it, but he looks in a lot of pain there. Looks like he's not going straight down the tunnel, but can't continue. Ebenezer Annan plays in Belgrade for Crvena Zvezda, his replacement here. Oh, what is going on back here? Great effort from Barbonsu, and Nwabali makes up for a completely unforced error. Not really sure that it's Wilfred Ndidi's fault. Nwabali here, under pressure, made a complete mess of it, and Barbonsu nearly had a debut goal. Just couldn't quite curl it over the rather fortunate and bailed out Stanley Nwabali. It's a corner. Just in case you can't keep up, in it comes. It's coming back in as well. Well, it should have done, but Barbonsu has made a right old mess of that. Fabulously entertaining half an hour here. Comes Daniel. Got a good stride about him and a swagger that suggests he's quite happy in the international scene, this being his debut. Let's see what Nwabali does here for entertainment. Look at these two go. Not quite sure what the pre-match plan was or what it might have changed to now that it's 2-0 Nigeria, but this is frantic. Imagine that was the intention. What a brilliant touch from Dessert into Alimi. And Dessert again. Alimi again. On target, but simple stuff for Asare. Fifth cap for the keeper who plays for Hearts of Oak in Ghana. He's already seen the ball go past him twice, despite not really having to make a save of any note. Well, his team in front, but not exactly looking that secure. On the subject of hanging on to a 2-goal lead, well, Jamaica had a 2-goal lead last night, saw that disappear. Ajayi back to Mwabali here, under pressure as Ghana obviously have to squeeze a little harder now when they can. Dessert just easing Ambrosius out of it there. Nice gentle end of season. That was what Stuart Atwell was probably thinking. Not a bit of it. He's a big physical striker, Cyril Dessert, and he wasn't going to get away with that one. That's a great delivery. Mahmoudou got the flick on it, just behind Ambrosius. Chukwueze couldn't quite keep hold of it. There's a flag up over there, though. Mensah has gone central now. Ayew, tons of space out there. Mamadou in it. Bonsu's been full of beans on his debut. Might have had a goal. And that one has gone Ghana's way. Throw or a free kick? Papa Daniel pleading his innocence. Well, he really waited for the contact then, didn't he? That is on the soft side, I think you'd have to say. Pushing and shoving in the box, and Ayew to deliver. Barbonsu, back to Ayew. Debutant to a centurion in terms of caps. Alimi blocks the first cross. Only done by Mensah. Got away with his slip. Ashimeru releasing. Mahmoudou here. Just the fourth cap for him tonight. Big switch coming the other way to the substitute, Annan. got it back here. He's gone in at left back with Mensah going from left back to centre back, and now Abdul Samad trying to feed it through. That wasn't his intended destination, but it still nearly worked. And breathe. Another free kick. Captain on captain. Ayew fell by Ndidi. They keep giving them set pieces. You feel like Ghana will make one of them count eventually. Jordan Ayew certainly getting the practice in. Ayew, far post delivery, really good. And they'll go again from the corner quadrant here as he tries to whip up the Ghanaian fans behind that goal. Good defensive header, that. Leaning back there with it. Anything less solid than that contact could have been an own goal at that end. Same targets for Jordan Ayew here. That's worth a hit. Or maybe not. Ashimeru scuffed it with the underside of his boot. Mensah last man back. Oh dear. Completely overhit that. Well, they're enjoying it. Ball hacked out of play. They're enjoying it rather less. Both teams will be playing again here on Saturday. At the moment, it's going to be Nigeria taking on Jamaica for the Unity Cup. Sadiq Ismaila to Semi Ajayi. Desser in the middle, that's way beyond him. The curious thing is, Benjamin Asari has had a very gentle game, apart from one problem of his own making. But the ball's gone past him twice. Easy catches otherwise. Oh dear, once again, almost the worst enemy. Clash of Ambrosius and Asare there, but there was a late challenge. Stuart Atwell is having a word with Wilfred Ndidi. He's saying, I really don't want to be sending players off here. Chukwueze down, having earned that free kick. Here's why. It was effectively a back pass. Fairness, really fairly won, if you know what I mean. Not sure what that was between centre-back and goalkeeper, but a right old mess. Indicative of the game in the best possible way. It's been fairly chaotic and a lot of fun. Not really a game for defences, though. Razak Simpson, forward, lovely layoff. Really good that from Opoku. And here is Opoku again. Well defended by Ajayi, bringing some calming presence back there. But Barbonsu He's everywhere in a good way, keeping the attack alive for the Black Stars. Eqwinaxx, oh, great feet from the Milan man. Deseret couldn't receive that, he'd run offside. Ajayi. Now Pree pitching up the centre back on the right wing, and cross-like one as well. Chunky challenge from Sadiq Ismaila, and the yellow card is coming out for the right back here. I mean, he may well have got the ball, but I think he half went through the player to get it. And in fairness, Kwame Poku didn't make that big a meal of it. We have seen some chunky challenges here tonight. I told you this was a pretty fierce rivalry. You can't do that. You absolutely cannot do that. Not in 2025, maybe not even in 1975. Sadiq Ismaila, the latest recipient of a yellow card. And to be fair, Stuart Atwell has been a little bit lenient on those. He's going to need a new whistle for the second half. Here's Salis Abdul Samid. That looked like a foul as well. It was. Play on. Ayew. Brilliant challenge from Ndidi. Anyone expecting end of season gentle fare here will be sorely mistaken, but I'm sure you're all pleased with it. What a game. Oh, it could be another freakish goal as Onyeka tried to put in the cross, and it was nearly another own goal and a third for Nigeria. This game is bonkers. What an own goal that would have been from Ambrosius. Onyeka. That's a really good stop from Benjamin Asare. Chukwueze's corner. Asare came, got nowhere near it. Well, he just went wandering then, Asare, but before that, this was great. Onyeka looking for the far post with a cross off Ambrosius. Immediate about turn from Asare, and good job too. He did well, having been wrong-footed to begin with. Here's Annan. Down the channel, eased out by Ajari. Stuart Atwell just giving his whistle a rest. Ndidi. The first half has absolutely flown by here. Two 0 became 2-2 24 hours ago. You wouldn't bet against it here, or any scoreline, frankly. Here's Chukwueze looking for Dessert. That's well cut out. He didn't have that much time on the ball there, Papa Daniel. Alto Addo, there's a half-time team talk coming up. We've got 2 added minutes before that whistle will go, but, well, they certainly look a threat. Problem is for Ghana, they look a threat in their own box as well as in Nigeria's. So they've got more defending to do here. They've got to get the next goal in this game. No reason why they shouldn't. That's a good ball. Dessert. His opening goal feels like a long time ago. Papa Daniel. First bit of calm possession. Ajayi. Nice idea. Bit of a slice cross. It's been a nervy half for Razak Simpson. Here you go, Ogbu. Razak Simpson again. and it's a slice clearance from him. Tough half, really tough half for Simpson. And unwittingly, he's given away another corner here. Eric Shell and his team have a chance to pinch a third before the interval here. Out by Ambrosius. Should be coming back though, Chukwueze, if he's quick enough. Can he get it in there? Good work from Chukwueze. Oh, lovely dummy! Brilliant save and off the line! Action right to the end of this fantastic first half. Nigeria inches away from the 3-0 half-time lead. That was superb. And there is the half-time whistle. What a half of football that was. Substitute Ebenezer Annan on the goal line. Wilfred Ndidi, what a lovely drop of the shoulder that was. And Annan would have had another own goal for Ghana, but then he cleared it. Before that, Bedlam, kicked off by Cyril Desser's opening goal for Nigeria. Excellently taken, I have to say. Team huddles before the team talks. And wearing 4 there at the back of that group, Razak Simpson with the own goal that made it 2-0. They nearly had another via Ambrosius. Ghana have had their chances. That was one heck of a half of football. Fantastic entertainment. Stuart Atwell, like the rest of us, going for a lie down. Nigeria have a 2-goal lead to preserve, and Ghana have a comeback to try and effect. To be honest, the way this game's gone, you would not bet against it. We had a big comeback last night in the first Unity Cup semi-final. Thanks to Benjamin Asari, it is still only 2-0 to Nigeria here. That is the half-time scoreline. Fabulous entertainment at Brentford's G-Tech Stadium. This Unity Cup semi-final at half-time is Nigeria 2, Ghana 0. I can't wait for the second half. Well, Nigeria come out with Ghana already out. The changes being made here. Mamudu has been replaced at the back with Caleb Urenki there on for his debut. Welcome to the Lions Den, and also on Brandon Thomas Asante, who's just missed out on promotion to the Premier League here in England with Coventry City. A double change from Otto Addo, who already made one that he had to make in that first half. There is Brandon Thomas Asante. And the Nigerian fans saluting Stanley Nwabali. At the end, he'll be defending in this second half. And away we go, praying that the second half is even half as good as the first was. Possession's already been turned over. Desser nicely done. Mensah winning it. Still flying into the challenges. And this right here, first touch in international football for Urenki. And it was almost a disastrous one. 19-year-old on debut for Ghana. He's just had a breakthrough season in Denmark for Nordsjælland. Caleb Urenki, and he's come on in the right wing-back role that Mamudu was fulfilling after the little reshuffle in that first half. Another player making way was Kwame Opoku, who managed somehow to have a fairly quiet half, while also around him was rather eventful. So Opoku off, and this place taken by Thomas Asante up there. Seems to be taking on the same central role, and he's interested here. And here he is, right on cue. He gets his shot away and wins the corner for Ghana. Not shy in shooting off the debutant defender Ogbu. He's lurking closest to that Nigerian net, Thomas Asante. Corner is a deep one, and it's too deep. Over hit. Well, he cut a frustrated figure in that first half. Now made 3 changes. Asante again running the channel. Strong defending from Ogbu, but Thomas Asante just nipped in round the side. Doesn't matter now. Indeed, quickly surrounded. Calmly done. Sorry, out to a smiler and back again. Semi Ajayi here, who will not get the credit for what would be his second goal and his 42nd cap. Even in his first half cameo substitute, Ebenezer Annan there almost scored an own goal and then cleared it off the line himself. Just a reminder, in case you missed it last night, super game here with Jamaica coming through by the odd goal in 5. Stoppage time. It is level at 90 minutes, straight to penalties. So Jamaica awaiting in the game that will decide who lifts the Unity Cup, and at the moment it looks like Nigeria, but we shall see. be set for further lift-off if Ghana get the next goal in this game. They are attacking the Nigerian fans' end and vice versa in this second half. Mensah. Forward for Ayew to chase. Ajari will beat him to it. Sami Ajayi there has a new international coach there, Eric Shell, and the new club coach at West Bromwich Albion soon enough. He's without all sorts of quality players in fairness. Solarena, say Samuel, Deli Bashiru, Onyedinka, Boniface, various reasons. Osman, Lookman, Iwobi. Reminds you when you look at the absentee list for Nigeria, and they've still got top players out there, just how many good players they do have. Awonyi, Mofi, Onuachu, Aribo, Calvin Bassey, for various reasons. A whole team and more of top level players. Still winning 2-0 and still with plenty of quality out there. Nicely done by Barbonsu. And a firm but fair challenge coming in. Wilfred indeed, he timed it well. Well, they're keeping their powder dry here. Wait for it. 6 of them in that D for Ghana, and they come and attack now. That was the plan anyway. From Barbonsu. For Samid, and then easy pickings for Nwabali. Goes for Chipper United in South Africa, Stanley Nwabali, and even though he hasn't had too much to do tonight, he's been a big part of the entertainment. Toado has won 9 of the 27 across his 2 spells as national team coach. Played in 2 World Cups himself. Brocious down here. The latest in a long line of free kicks tonight. Nice layoff here. Yellow card. Onyemaichi upending the newly arrived Caleb Urinki, and you saw a little bit of that there of what Ghanaian fans are getting excited about. There's the challenge. They're excited about Caleb Urinki. Onyemaichi makes it 2-2 in cards. Offside Urinki, but already showing the attacking intent coming from wing back, as he is in this. Become a regular for Nordsjælland, scored a couple of goals for them in the Danish league. And regardless of scoreline tonight, a proud moment to be given his international bound by Otto Addo. Here's Dessert looking for the far corner and the spectacular, and finding the Ghanaian fans instead.
was Ego Ogbu who actually received the card. The trip that came after was not the challenge that brought it. That hand off there rather than the trip that followed. That's what the yellow card was out for. Thomas Asante is in there. That's a little beyond him. Steadily headed back there by Bruno Onyemaichi. Nicely done by Ndidi. Nice little change of direction with a shoulder feint. Awkward bounce. One back well. Daniel trying to poke it forward for a run that never really came. See what he was trying, but Alimi hadn't quite read the script. Bruno Onyemaichi, not the one caution. It was the debutant Ego Ogbu. Better behave himself. Look at the run of Yarenki again. It's the right wing back going in a channel as a forward. Cheap shot from Christopher Barbonsu. One of several Belgian-based players in the Ghana squad. He plays for Genk. Just too eager. You can't even try and do that now. You're never going to get away with it. Here's Onyemaichi. I haven't seen him getting up that much from left back in this game. Yarenki with a more sure-footed back pass that time. Asari into Mensah. Playing out from the back has felt like a dicey game all night long. That's good from Ayew. Just a slip at the worst possible time from Christopher Barbonsu there. Well, under pressure, but very tidily done by Jai and Ogbu and Co. And look what it's turned into, or should I say, what it should have turned into. And he was just too keen there. Papa Daniel. Dessert. Alimi. Well defended by Yarenki. Salih Abdel Samid there. May be interested to learn that his club coach, Will Still, has been officially announced as Southampton boss now. So Lens will have a new coach, so maybe Salih Abdel Samid will have a chance to get back in there, having been loaned out. Thomas Asante dropping deep. Mensah to Ayew. Thomas Asante again. Nicely done. Just enough on that to get back to Mwabali, but not the greatest clearance from him under a bit of pressure, in fairness. Abdel Samid. Look at Barbonsu fighting there. Didn't he do well to keep it in, and legally too, against Onyemaichi. Barbonsu! He wants a debut goal. He's very direct. He is full of vigour and hard running. He needed some finish from that angle, but even so, he's a second favourite here. And look at the desire here. Nothing wrong with that challenge. Having got there, wonder if there was a better option than the one he took, but having done that hard work, why not? It flies in the corner, no problem. Speaking of which, at the other end, this is Dessert. Good strength. Triple change coming from Nigeria shortly, but not before this latest Ghanaian attack. Need a good cross. Thomas Asante in the middle, just beyond him. Urenki. And Urenki again. Two in the middle. Into Ayu. And indeed he calmly shepherds it out. Mensah. Eric Shell readying three down there. What players they are, more on them in a minute. Ghana looking to halve the problems here. Well, listen to the crowd here. Both sets of fans going for it, but the Nigerian supporters are going to be really pleased to see three regular names coming here. Chukwueze will make way. We're going to see three super experienced Super Eagles coming on here. Papa Daniel coming off as well. Moses Simon coming on, Kelechi Iheanacho, and Ahmed Musa there, the captain, or at least he usually is. 110 caps. And listen to the reception. Kelechi Iheanacho looking for goal number 15 for the Super Eagles. And indeed, Ahmed Musa does take the armband. Thick end of 250 caps between the three men who've just come on for Nigeria. Just being played around here though. Jordan Ayew. And again Ayew, strong tackle. But a fair one by Ajari. Free kick. Real Dessert here. Last. Receiving in there, Ambrosius St. Gallen in Switzerland. A little too physical, and what has been quite a scrap actually between those two. Half an hour to go. Simon picked up the left side that Alimi was on, into Iheanacho and back again. Nicely done, but well defended by Urenki. And listen to the roar from the Ghanaian fans. I tell you what, in 15 minutes of his debut here, he's really looked the part, Caleb Yarenki. No wonder they're excited about him. Barbonsu with the give and go, and he's quick enough to get there, needs a good ball, and he's found one. Not a lot of room in there. Still nearly made it happen though, didn't he? Good effort from Brandon Thomas Asante. What a fantastic first goal for his country that would have been, and nearly was. Barbonsu making things happen. Sharp pass. Sharp turn too, and shot from Brandon Thomas Asante. That would have livened up an already lively game. It's brought a corner instead. Jordan Ayew delivers it very deep, but they're queuing up round the back, and they're getting in each other's way. Yarenki still going for everything. Barley going long. That's worked out all right. Free hit for Cyril Dessert. Simon moves it on to Eqwinaxx. Just caught Barbonsu there. And because he didn't go down, he probably didn't get the call. But it should have been a free kick. And that is why players go down. Simon under pressure and dispossessed. Nigeria have actually got 3 games in this international window. It's the first of them. Obviously, they'll be playing here on Saturday, probably. It's stand against Jamaica. They're also off to Moscow for a friendly. Both these nations have the usual September-October double headers for World Cup qualification. Ghana in a good position, Nigeria in a perilous one, but that is not the way of it tonight. Not so far anyway. Yarenki. Simon wins it. Musa taking over. Oh, he's done very well there. Eqwinaxx, flag is up. It's not going to count. Really nicely taken goal from a proven poacher. He's asking, was it me? Yes, it was. Good decision. It was good work by Musa and for Dessert to have left it for him clever. And Eqwinaxx thought he had his 15th goal. For about 3 seconds he did. 56 caps now for Kelechi Iheanacho, but my goodness, there is a lot of competition up front for Nigeria when everyone's fit. Mensah. Procius. That's a good ball and a great run. 3 in the middle. What a goal that is on the counter. And it's a first for Ghana, not only tonight, but for Brandon Thomas Asante. Brilliantly taken. Game on. It was never likely to stay at 2-0 this game. Ghana's problems are halved. Really well made. That is a super run, a great pick out, and a finish to match. Credit to all 3 of the Ghanaians who made it happen. And a wonderful moment for Brandon Thomas Asante. It's only his 3rd cap. He'll never forget that though. His first goal for the Black Stars, and it's a big one. In a grudge match against Nigeria, they are in this contest again, big time. 20 minutes to play. Now then, Misheru, Barponsu, and still, Urenki here. Only had positive thoughts. It's the first conservative thing he's done since coming on. Lovely interchange here. Suddenly it's Ghana playing all the football and Nigeria clinging on. Barponsu. Too much on that, but it's turned out okay, is it? For Abdul Samid, away by Ismaila. Listen to the Ghana fans here. Everything underneath me and to my left here and opposite. This corner of West London might as well be Accra. Brilliant atmosphere for a brilliant game of football. The Unity Cup so far has entertained richly on both nights. Shame there's only 20 minutes to play, really. Both will be in action here on Saturday, of course. But in which game? Simon just thought he was getting through. Abdul Samid. Ayew dropping deep. Nicely worked. Here's Barponsu again. And still, Vivian Mensah. Out to Annan. Nigeria have been rattled out of their composure here. Not exactly overflowing with it to begin with, but definitely wind in sails for Ghana here. They fancy this, and you wouldn't bet against the score of the next goal being them. On we go. Musa. Looking for it and belatedly getting it. That is not a popular decision in front of the Ghanaian fans. Razak Simpson with a wry smile. Still haven't made that change, you know, Nigeria. He's been waiting down there with Ianyi for a long time for his debut. Just keeping warm on the touchline as Kelechi Iheanacho prepares to deliver. He was a fraction away from making it 3-0, and he has boomed that miles over the top. Still in play, though. And you know what? They'll stay in there. Attack's still alive for now. Annan, did he keep it in? Not quite. But he has had plenty of action since coming on in that first half. Ebenezer Annan. Ghana ball, and they've taken it quickly. Here's Urenki to Barbonsu. Two debutants here who've absolutely loved tonight. One from the start and one as a sub. Barbonsu, oh what a ball! And what a chance for 2-2 at the far stick for the skipper. Jordan Ayew on the slide, and he couldn't quite get there. We have seen some deliveries tonight, though. The assists have been brilliant. It was a tough angle. He was well beyond that far post, but even so, just couldn't steer it goalwards. They all thought it was in. 30 goals for his country. 4 full-time, still 21 behind the great Asamoah Gyan. Jordan Ayew, what a chance there. And this would have been all square. It's tempting to say that maybe 10 years ago he'd have got there. Maybe that's harsh, but they have all been entertained here tonight. And we've still got 15 minutes or so to go here. Now Sadiq Ismaila is down. Eqwinaxx's been waiting to come on for Eric Shell for about 15 minutes. It is certainly a shot from Jordan Ayew, isn't it? There is Eqwinaxx on Yabuchi. A good 10, maybe 15 minutes waiting for his debut. When you've never played for your country before, probably feel a bit daft just stood there. Desperate to get on and get a touch of the ball. That heart will be thumping for sure. Bowled out for Onyemaichi. It's actually going to be a double change after all that for Nigeria shortly. Isaac Saviour and Ife Onyebuchi coming soon. Desert, good physical work from him. Great take from Ashimeru. Really good from the box-to-box midfielder. Barbonsu got a bit excited with the layoff. Ayew has somehow kept possession for Ghana here. That's great work. And Urenki is on, and Ayew has found him. Ashimeru waited too long. Counter-attack on. Otto Addo asking how that could have happened. That's a foul, but advantage will be played. Iheanacho, there's a ball in behind, it's brilliant from Iheanacho. Desert, was he bumped? Stuart Atwell says no. Had to take the chance, I think, Ambrosius. Ayew, could have been 2-2, could have been 3-1, still could be anything. Great game of football this second semi-final. Turnover again. And Ndidi
Now he's lost it, and he's told to get up. Waiting for ages to make one change, then waiting a while to make two, Nigeria. And I think they might be looking for a shirt, actually, for one of them. Urenki. Onyeka, who's had a busy return to Brentford. Frank Onyeka, and he's won his side a free kick there. Second half of the season spent on loan at, or rather the whole season spent on loan at Augsburg. Is he going to be replaced here? Let's have a look. Changes coming from the Ghanaian bench too, but Ifeanyi Onyebuchi, who's been stood there for genuinely 15 minutes waiting to come on for his debut, is going to. And we have an impromptu team talk here with 10 minutes to play, a bit of a timeout. I mean, who knows what's going on down there, but I'm pretty sure that Ifeanyi's going to get his debut now, to be followed by another debutant in Collins Uguezi. Who for? We're about to find out. Well, who's coming back for the final 5 o'clock on Saturday? Who's coming back for the earlier game? I'm sure they've all bought their tickets. And we'll swap if necessary. The third place playoff that will be against Trinidad and Tobago is the early kickoff here. 9 minutes and plenty of stoppage time to go. And here we go with those changes. After a very long wait, we are first going to see Collins Uguezi, who's going to replace Frank Onyeka. Interesting to see what his future holds and whether it'll be on this pitch next season for Brentford. Frank Onyeka had to go to Germany for regular football last term, and there Ifeanyi Onyebuchi of Enugu Rangers for his debut. Confirmation there, it was Semi Ajayi who made way. There he is, back in the fold, having missed out on the last squad. We're also going to see Abu Francis of Cercle Bruges here to replace Ashimeru, who's already gone off. Just confirmation of it there. Straight swap in central midfield. Abu Francis on for his 5th cap. Well, it deserves a penalty shootout, this game. Why not? It's had everything else. Ghana have to score in the next, well, probably 12 minutes, something like that.
quiet moment after that extended break and play. Little layoff from Ayu. First touch for Eqwinaxx. Brocious forward. Gideon Mensah's playing in his fifth position in this match. He's on the rightish of the Ghanaian midfield now. Strong run here from Ayu. What a chance he had for 2-2. Will he get another, or can he make another? Corner. And after a couple of big deep breaths, Jordan Ayew is going to take it. Well, it's a good looking corner, and it's Caleb Urenki with the header. A 19-year-old who's had such an impressive debut. You want to make an impact off the bench as a substitute, especially an international debutant. I think it's fair to say Caleb Urenki has done that. Pure desire got him there. Just needed a more glancing blow. Don't think that Bali would have been stopping that. Here he is again, Urenki. In theory, a right back in this team, but he hasn't played like it since his introduction. Here's Annan, who did so well to set up that Thomas Asante goal, but has turned this one back into a contest. Nigeria just trying to hold on for a few more minutes. Here he is again, Annan. Nicely done. Ayu onside. Trying to find some room, now trying to find a teammate. Urenki's there again, another climbing header. And again, it's over the top from the teenager. He's really caught the eye. The veteran of the squad picking out the baby of the squad here. That would have been liftoff for the Ghanaian fans who've just gone a little quiet, having been bouncing all night long. Everything about his cameo has been full of good things. Caleb Urenki. All action. 40 minutes. Well, Ayu does not have the pace to get on the end of that. It's a good job for Nigeria that Eqwinaxx did. Annan with the throw. To Abdul Samid and back again. Mensah with the cross. High boot from Jordan Ayew. The pressure relief for Nigeria as we hit the final 2 minutes of normal time. One really big chance and two half chances since making it 2-1 Ghana. Will they get another? Length of added time made it take that. There's Yarenki again. Went for the early layoff. Nice. Thomas Asante with the cutback. Here's Abu Francis. Now Ayew. Oh, beautifully done for Francis. Oh, what a stop that is. Maybe a game-winning stop from Stanley Nwabali, who hasn't had that many saves to make in this game, but that one is brilliant. And Abu Francis so nearly had his first goal for Ghana, and what a goal it would have been. A last-minute equaliser against the fierce rivals Nigeria that would have surely taken us to penalties. Look at that from Ayew. The finish is clever too, but the goalkeeping is excellent. He's a big fella. He got down sharp here. Look at Otto Addo there. So close. And yet so far. 4 added minutes. I'm surprised it's only that. And Mohamed Husseini is about to come on for a debut. As we go into the first of those, and Ghana have a free kick. Well, this may be it. He so nearly teed up the equaliser a minute ago, Jordan Ayew, and he so nearly scored one about 15 minutes prior. He and the almost as experienced Salih Abdul Samid in discussion. The longer they take it, the more you feel it won't all get added back on. There's a line in the sand there. And Ebenezer Annan is not allowed any further across than that. Big moment for a big goal. Played short. My goodness, they've made an absolute mess of that, and Stuart Atwell's got in the way of the Nigerian counter. He's saying, what could I do? I feel like Cyril Dessert could have avoided him, but anyway. Yarenki. Why didn't they just put the ball in there? Jordan Ayew. What on earth was that? 2 added minutes to go, although, to be honest, there should be another one beyond that. That's a nice touch. Barbonsu here. That's a foul. No, it's not. Stuart Atwell says no. Stuart Atwell says goal kick. And that change will be made now. Barbonsu is going to be replaced by Mohamed Husseini. But look at this free kick here. A free chance to put the ball in the box for Ghana. And that. And then, Dessert in the way. Well, Otto Addo, I should think, fuming at the free kick, and Eric Shell and his team, they're fuming at the officials. I'm not really sure what Stuart Atwell could have done. Well, is Mohamed Husseini going to come on? Is he going to be allowed to? Yes, so Barbonsu is off. There he is behind the goal, and on comes Mohamed Husseini, another debutant. Just had his breakthrough season in Belgium for Union Saint-Gilloise. Technically, 1 minute of added time to go, but that is a minimum, and I suspect it'll be more like 2. Nigeria nearly there. They haven't exactly seen it out cleanly, but maybe they can see it out now. That is going to be a free kick. And they can kill some minutes, kill the game here. That might be it, I'm afraid, for Ghana. Now, Salih Al-Samid has already been booked, and I tell you what, if this wasn't the 94th minute, in what is technically a friendly, I am certain Stuart Atwell would have had the second yellow card out for that. Nigerian fans getting ready to celebrate. More than just your average friendly victory, this, I think. They are making great noise again. Can they hold out? And how much additional time on top of additional time are we going to get here? That's a lovely pass. And that's worth a hit. Maybe he got a little bit too excited. Mohamed Husseini, he snatched at it early, the debutant. Imagine that for an introduction. As the final whistle goes. Cracking game of football. And Nigeria, who won the very first Unity Cup in 2002, down the road at Loftus Road, will have a chance to lift it again here at the G-Tech on Saturday when they take on Jamaica for the trophy. Wonderful game of football with so many chances at both ends. It was fast and it was frantic and it was thoroughly entertaining. And a huge crowd here at Brentford have thoroughly enjoyed it. But the Nigerian fans are the ones that are celebrating. We've seen experienced players, we've seen a lot of debutants, and we've seen a victory for the Super Eagles, who were 2 goals